don't want that one. Go ahead. I'd like to call this meeting of the Festus City Council to order. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer,
Here.
Councilman Underwood, Councilwoman Templeton. Here. Councilman Weiner.
Here.
Councilman Dennis,
Here.
Councilman Venz,
Here.
Councilman Cook, Councilman Timmon.
We do have a quorum. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Flag.
of the United States
Of America.
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Tonight we have bills in the amount of $117,924.73.
So moved. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Underwood,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Venz.
Yes.
Motion passes. Consent agenda has been approved. Remarks of visitors.
We received none.
We have none. Bids, Police Department patrol rifle purchase.
What we'd like to do is replace some of the older AR-15s we have in our fleet or in our armory with some newer models. Some of the ones are 30 years old. The armor says he thinks it's time we probably upgrade a little bit. So we'd like to buy 9 of them. We're going to offset part of that cost by selling some of the older rifles. So it looks like the 3 bids we got, the lowest one came in at $66.15 for the rifles and then the scopes that go with them. We're going to offset the cost, like I said, by selling some of the other rifles either back to the company or to the officers.
Chief, when you sell the other rifles, do you have to sell them to a respectable, like another agency or something, or you're not anyone?
No, what it probably does is we gave it to the officers. She had to pass background check and everything. That was it. And the offer that came in from Gulf State Distributors, I thought was a little low. So I offered it to the officers. If they sound fine, if not, we'll trade them into either Gulf States or someplace else to try and offset the cost.
Well, that's what I meant. I mean, when you sell a rifle, you can't just sell it to a person off the street saying, I want to buy this rifle. That's okay. That's what, okay.
I wouldn't do that.
Well, I didn't know how that worked. I wasn't sure if a
Yeah.
person,
Usually they sell it back to the company that buys them, but I mean, they kind of lowball us a little bit. So,
well, yeah, we all know that. That's why I didn't know if that was.
so I thought for
Could
them
that-
taking the benefit, see if an officer or something they want.
Okay.
Tim, have you tried the Springfield 5.56?
Yes, we've got probably 10 Saints now. They're very good rifles. And one of the issues is it's not that the rifles are really what I would say decrepit, but we can't get anything for them anymore. They're H bars. If you knows anything about an AR-15, they're carry handle H bars. Well, if you're looking for EOD sights or your EOTechs or your lasers or your red dots, they don't make them for those anymore. They never did. They're old school. I mean, heaven
Okay.
forbid you forget about how to use iron sights.
Is there any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the bid from GT Distributors. $6,615. Motion's been made
Second.
and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Underwood, Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Venz.
Yes.
Motion passes. Chief,
Thank you.
buy your weapons. Ordinances and resolutions. Tonight we have on the agenda Bill 4647. Would the clerk please read the bill for the first time?
Bill number 4647, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, amending Chapter 105 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Festus to amend certain provisions relating to candidate filing periods, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and establishing an effective date.
Could we have a staff report, please?
Certainly, this is some work that Brian did. Brian Malone, our city attorney. The state statute recently changed. Brian, if you'd like to expand on it.
Sure, that's correct, Greg. It's really a fairly straightforward change. The state in House Bill 271, one of the provisions they changes was the filing period for local races. Under previous law, it was, I think, either the 15th or 16th week before, Tuesday before the election. Now it's the 17th. And now instead of closing the 11th Tuesday before the election, it will close the 14th. So it's a fairly straightforward change. So I would recommend you change your code. My understanding is there are a number of cities that are unhappy about this, and they may be trying to lobby the General Assembly to change this in the future. So it's possible this will come back before you after the next legislative session, but that all remains to be seen. So.
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, could I have a motion to suspend the rules and read Bill 4647 second time in title only?
So moved.
Motion's been made
Second.
and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, would you please read Bill 4647 for the second time?
Bill number 4647, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, amending Chapter 105 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Festus to amend certain provisions relating to candidate filing periods, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and establishing an effective date. Councilman Venz.
Yes.
Councilman Dennis.
Yes.
Councilman Weiner.
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton.
Yes.
Councilman Underwood. Councilman Boyer.
Yes.
Motion carries. Bill 4647 has passed. We also have Bill 4648 on the agenda. Would the clerk please read that bill?
Bill number 4648, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, authorizing the issuance of special tax bills under Chapter 215 of the City of Festus, Missouri Municipal Code, certifying said special tax bills to the collector of County of Jefferson to be collected with the City of Festus real estate tax bills and establishing an effective date.
Bill 4648 is now open for discussion. Can I have a staff report, please?
This is just the annual delinquent weed assessments that we have to file with the county so that they can go on the taxes. The list is attached to the ordinance.
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to suspend the rules and read Bill 4648 for the second time in title only. Motion's been made
Second.
and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please read Bill 4648 for the second time in title only?
Bill number 4648, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, authorizing the issuance of special tax bills under Chapter 215 of the City of Festus, Missouri Municipal Code, certifying said special tax bills to the collector of County of Jefferson to be collected with the City of Festus real estate tax bills and establishing an effective date. Councilman Boyer.
Yes.
Councilman Underwood.
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton.
Yes.
Councilman Weiner.
Yes.
Councilman Venz.
Yes.
Councilman Dennis.
Yes.
Bill 4648 has passed. New business,
We have done.
old business.
One item I wanted to bring up, we received notification late Thursday that from the Office of Administration with the state of Missouri that our first tranche which is just the first installment payment on the American Rescue Plan Act in the amount of $1,214,345.57 will be hitting our account sometime this week. As we have discussed in the past, and we've thrown around some ideas, I would like to propose that the last funding distribution spreadsheet that we passed out, which has probably been 2 months ago now, which focused on revenue replacement for the general fund, library, park, and tourism funds in the amount of $1,032,881, which is based off numbers using a spreadsheet from the Government Financial Officers Association. And also hazard and premium pay for our employees. That would be about $152,727.52, which would leave an unexpended amount just over $28,000. To be able to place these figures into a resolution and bring to council for the September meeting for their consideration to distribute the first batch of this funding in this way, which would be the general revenue replacement, the hazard premium pay, as the way we would like to address this first batch of money coming from the federal government. The breakdown on the revenue replacement, that would send $516,440,000 to the general fund, $134,274 to the library fund, $82,630 to the park fund, and $299,535 to the tourism fund. That would be a breakdown of 100% of the total amount of general revenue funds lost and 50% of the funds lost by library, park, and tourism, with the second 50% to come from the second tranche of money next year.
You need a motion for that?
No, just if there's questions or concerns, otherwise we will make sure that we have it all inside of a resolution for your consideration at the September 13th meeting.
What's the balance of the other 50% of those funds that are not being paid?
It would be,
with this first tranche?
exactly, basically take the number and double it. So 134,274 to library would be another 134,000. Another 300,000 to tourism and another 82,000 to the park fund.
So this is just basically a 50% less hazardous duty pay and so on
Correct.
for making things square.
Yeah, the main intent is to make the general fund, because those funds are the most flexible, whole out of the first tranche of money.
Sure.
That would give council opportunity to consider some special projects with that funding as well. And then the hazard premium pay would be a one-time expenditure that we would give to full-time, prorated part-time and volunteers, specifically in the fire department. The general fund would receive 100% of its funds with this first batch, and then we would do the other half with the second installment, which would be another $1.2 million next year.
So if the second tranche is the same as the first,
Mhm.
and we are paying 50% less hazardous duty, what is the balance of the unencumbered funds at that point?
We're paying 100% of the hazardous duty, I'm sorry.
So you only have that for the second half to be
So for the
free?
second half, other than essentially $420,000, the rest of that money would be restricted to just what
Right.
ARPA says it can be, which would be stormwater, sewer, water, broadband.
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I'll be sure to send this around. And I know we've had a number of emails and spreadsheets that have gone out in relation to this. You've had a chance to kind of digest some different ideas. and different ways of distributing these funds. Again, the formalization on what I'm presenting here will all be inside that resolution, and I'll have supporting documentation to go with it.
Thank you.
Everyone's comfortable with that? Kevin, you okay with that? Nodding his head. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. We're to mayor and city council reports. Councilman Underwood.
I have a complaint from a citizen about England Drive. I was wondering if we could get a sign or something for us where it says, heavy traffic, something associated with kids, because there's a lot of kids out in the street now.
Matt, I got this note from Gary. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
That's all I have.
All right, sir. Thank you. Councilwoman Templeton.
Nothing to report.
Councilman Vance.
I told Matt earlier, thanks on that central, that fence looks real nice back on Central, under the bridge. And Kevin, and I know you, Mayor, and some other ones got a phone call from a guy on Central today. And I guess all his questions got answered. He wasn't thrilled, but he had an earful. But I told him, I said, well, if it's all been answered, I can't do not much about it. So,
Yep, he called everybody.
yeah. And so I just told him I'd bring it up just to, note it, but he said he wasn't happy with the answers, but he understood. So, but the streets are looking, man, God, it's nice to have some smooth streets. And things are, except for a couple spots still, but that it is what it is, but a lot of compliments. It's looking good. And so, other than that, that's it, sir.
Thank you very much. Councilman Boyer.
Matt, on South Mill Street where the retaining wall got hit. Have you heard anything on that insurance? That guy called me about it and he's wanting something done about the wall. At least remove the debris.
The debris is going to get removed, but I think Carrie might have, do you have any update from the insurance company about that?
Well, the gentleman's insurance company.
Oh, the gentleman's insurance.
We're gonna send him a letter. I was waiting on a quote
Okay,
for repair damage.
okay.
If some young boy, somebody rides a bicycle down that sidewalk, that stuff is blocking off pretty good section of the sidewalk.
It is.
Should be removed because they were to try to dodge that, go out in the street, they could get hit by a car or something, and he's really complaining about that right now. So I told him we'd see what we can do about getting that cleaned up a little bit until the insurance company settles.
Yep.
And farther up on the right there, did we ever get a children at play or slow sign or something up there?
I believe so.
Okay.
I put it where I thought it was communicated where it needs to be. If I didn't get it at the right place, you let me know.
Okay. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Weiner.
Just joining in with Bobby on the streets, how nice the streets are. Yeah, I think they've done a great job with that. And no news is good news. So I haven't heard anything, no squeaky wheels. So I think everything is running nice and smooth, and that's all I have, sir.
Thank you. Councilman Dennis.
Other than the gentleman on Central, I went over and looked at the things too. So it sounds like that's all we can do about that. So that's all I have, sir.
All right, thank you.
Sir, could I jump in for just a moment?
Yes.
Councilman Cook wanted to make sure that I mentioned during the meeting, folks were, I think he brought this up previously, on Masters Drive, the cul-de-sac, the new cul-de-sac that's there. The developer did get, Ameren came and hooked up the light in the center of that cul-de-sac. I know the residents there had been asking about that, and that was installed here in the last week or so. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Well, today I received a letter from the Emmanuel Lutheran Church. And it's addressed to myself and the council, City of Festus. In appreciation for the cooperation and work done for Emmanuel by our mayor, council, fire, and police departments, Emmanuel Lutheran Church, 2221 Briarton Lane in Festus, invites you to a jambalaya feast on September 2nd, 2021, anytime between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. Genuine Louisiana food will be prepared by two Missouri Synod Lutheran churches, Trinity Lutheran Church in Orland Park, Illinois, and Village Church Lutheran of Lacombe, Louisiana. There will be music by Satellite Sound DJ and authentic cuisine provided free of charge. Thank you for all your support throughout the year. Sincerely, Reverend Kyle Castens, pastor, Emmanuel Lutheran Church. So there's a free dinner. The only other thing I have is, once again, to reiterate and encourage those who have not got a vaccine to get your vaccine. And when it becomes available for those who it can have it, get your booster shot. I'm sure that, we're all concerned. It keeps going up in Jefferson County, but, we have to be careful. So that's all I have. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.